Hello everyone. So today's video, I'm going to show you how to test a LED conversion recessed light fixture. As you can tell, this one with this LED has failed on this LED recessed can LED aftermarket light fixture, whatever you call it. This is an LED conversion, as you can tell, not a halogen bulb. This is LED, as you can tell. It's plugged into this harness and it's plugged in to a light socket inside the lamp. As you can tell, it's plugged in. This is a plug and play LED conversion, as you guys can see. Comes with this spring clips that attaches to the light can of the recessed fixture, as if you're pulling it out to replacing a light fixture, light bulb on a recessed fixture. I have so many videos of light fixtures I worked on for the past doing recessed light fixtures, kind of like what I did. I did an LED conversion on mine like 4 years ago, and it's not this model, it's the Fed Electric brand. So this one appears to be what I worked on in my friend's house to replacing a light fixture with one of these recessed light fixture cans that go for the living room, which happened to have one that was dead. So I replaced it with a new General Electric, and this is the one I happen to take that doesn't work. So I'm going to show it to you guys just to show you of a dead light fixture when I turn it on with the desk lamp. So I have this voltage tester to tell if there's power going in, because don't always assume that the power is on all the time unless you think there's no power going to this. I'm going to show you on what a working power is if I was to flip the switch. You can see I turned it on, no light. It's plugged in, not a loose socket or anything. I checked the wire harness and all that. Everything in here is plugged in, so I'm going to use this voltage tester, and it's going to tell me that I'm having power. See? You see it beeping? That means there's voltage going through. And also the light fixture too, so this fixture is dead. That's how you can tell if your recessed light fixture can LED conversion light fixture is dead. There's a way to tell just by plugging it to a different light fixture, like a regular lamp or something that has a light socket that you can see on mine. I have one that's plugged in already to the light socket, and this one is a screw-in plug and play light socket. As you can tell, this is the plug that unplugs from this harness. Comes with this one too that actually screws in to a regular light socket, and this one is actually an LED conversion, as you can tell, for this one. And this one is dead, as you guys saw, for the fact that there's no light coming out of this thing. So that's how you can tell if it's dead, by doing it on a working light fixture that actually has voltage going through it, and it should turn on the light bulb. As you guys didn't see, this one didn't turn on, so I had the voltage tester to prove that there is power going into it. So I'm going to remove this light socket in this desk lamp, and don't worry guys, the power is off because I have the switch turned off on this desk lamp. So if the power was to be on, you will see it beeping. So I have it turned off. So I'm going to unscrew this plug and play light bulb screw-in adapter that they use for these things. And this is what it looks like with the light bulb socket. Plug and play for one of these LED conversions, if you guys ever have one of these. It doesn't matter what model it is, all has the exact same thing, kind of like what you see in most LED conversion kits you install. So we're going to put in a regular light bulb just to prove that this light fixture or whatever, a desk lamp, proves to be working. So I'm going to show you guys that this thing is working. Not a dead lamp. Everything in it is plugged in. So I'm going to show you guys just to prove you guys that this thing is working, because it's not a bad fixture. It's not because the outlet is unplugged from the lamp. You guys could have saw that my voltage pen has picked up there was voltage. So that means there's power flowing through it as there's power coming through. So I'm going to turn on the lamp just to show you guys there is a good bulb in this one after putting back in the original bulb that goes from the desk lamp. And you can see we have light. Perfectly fine, no issues with the socket, not an issue with the actual fixture itself. And that's how you can tell if you have a bad recessed light fixture. or one of your bulbs that's in your fixture that you're not sure if it's the bulb or if it's the fixture itself that has a problem. And if you find that you plug this into a different fixture and it comes on, and then you found out putting this back to your original fixture that didn't work and you plug it in, it more than likely could be the actual light socket that's probably not getting a good connection in the light socket as you screw it in. Most of the times, always check the light socket, making sure you have it screwed in there perfectly and make sure it's not loose. Sometimes light sockets with these ones, when they're not in there tightly, it can cause a loose connection and cause the light not to work. But that wasn't the case. This is a dead LED on this light fixture, as you can see, for this recessed light fixture cam. For a recessed light fixture that doesn't turn on, as you guys could tell, and doing this test just by plugging this light socket to a different light fixture that actually has a light bulb socket that screws in just like a regular light bulb, screw it into the fixture, turn it on, and if you find this one not turning on, you know likely it's a bad fixture. And most 95% of the time, replacing the fixture will fix the problem. For most cases, if you have recessed light fixture that goes on your ceiling and you find that it's not turning on, most cases I would mostly check is making sure that one of the light sockets is in there correctly. Make sure it's screwed in there perfectly. Check to make sure one of the harness in here is plugged in perfectly inside, getting a good connection. And if that's not your case, on all these not being your problem, then you know likely this is dead. Most cases, always check your light switches. Make sure it's flipped on. Should get voltage through this light fixture. And if it is and it's not turning on, you know likely it's a dead LEDs in there. And usually these ones are not replaceable to this in the fact that it's an LED, so the whole circuit in there is dead, as you can tell for LED versions. If you ever experience that your light fixture is not working, pull the fixture out, make sure the power is turned off on this before you pull it out, and just unplug the harness, and also remove this screw and light bulb socket. That's usually a plug-and-play harness connector, which is easy to install when you're doing recessed light fixture. Just remove this off this fixture, put a regular light bulb just like what I have. If you guys have regular light bulb, use those just to see if you have a working fixture. And if your fixture turns on, replacing the fixture fixes the problem. In most cases, I've seen mostly with light fixtures go out, being the most part, just replacing the light bulb resolves the issue. But for most terminable reasons, is always checking to make sure your light switch is getting power, and if it is, for a good light switch, you should get light coming out of this thing, and if it's not, then it's likely a dead LED right here. And that's how you test a recessed light fixture LED conversion kit on a desk lamp. You can do it also with regular lamps if you have one with a light bulb socket, kind of like what I have. I happen to have a desk lamp, as you guys can see. This one happens to work with no issues, as I showed you on camera with the thing turning on when I flip the switch up here. So, like I said, always the most important thing is turning this off with the power to the light fixture once you do a test like what you're doing with plugging this into your socket. Because if you don't, you get electrocuted. So like I said, I always tell people, always turn the power off. And if it's off on the switch, just got to make sure you know on which fixture it is. And if you're not sure, you can use a volt tester pen that is called a voltage tester, which this thing will approve if it's on or not. But for most cases, if you know your light fixture locations on a light switch, and it's very easy to tell if you remember this one working from before and then start going out, and if you know your light fixture, all of them turned off with all the switches, you should be good. Always important to look through your light switches to know which one it is that you have turned on, turn it off, and then you can use one of these if you guys happen to have one of these. This is an electrical voltage tester that you can use to check to make sure that the hot wire is not on. Because this is a way to check if you're getting power to it, just by tapping it on the hot wire, and if you get a beep, then it's on. There's a way to tell. But for most cases, if you have the power off, it's always the best thing to turn the power off. Just to be in the safe side, it's always important to turn the power off when you're working on removal process like what I did. Because honestly, I'm well professional, and I'm knowing what I'm doing with this, knowing for the fact that you should be very careful when testing these fixtures. And if you're knowing what you're doing, you should be more considerate enough to see if this is your problem with the fixture. Because most cases, when fixtures go out, it's time to replace it. So this one is bad, so we likely replaced it with a new one. for most cases if you're going to pull a fixture out, which is very easy to do yourself if you know what you're doing, if you have light fixtures like this one. So like I said, it's always best to look into your fixture, make sure your harness is plugged in there perfectly, make sure the screw-in adapter is plugged in there properly with this light socket, and make sure that the breaker's turned on, and if it is, over a light switch that's working over your other fixtures, even with this one, and you found out this one is out, then it's time to replace this one. Should fix the problem. If you found this video helpful, please consider hitting the like button and make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already on this repair channel. And have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.